The eastern Mediterranean simmers with tension. Old rivalries have reignited. At the heart of this brewing storm are Turkey and Israel, once close allies, now locked in a dangerous dance of brinkmanship. Their relationship, strained for over a decade, has deteriorated, raising fears of a direct military confrontation. The stakes couldn't be higher. The entire region sits on edge, bracing for a conflict that could easily spiral out of control. This isn't just a war of words. Both countries are flexing their military muscles. Military exercises, provocative deployments, and bellicose rhetoric have become the new normal. The Eastern Mediterranean, once a conduit for trade and energy, risks becoming a flashpoint, a tinderbox awaiting a spark. The reasons for this descent are complex and multifaceted. Regional ambitions, historical grievances, and ideological clashes all play a part. Adding fuel to the fire is the issue of energy resources, with vast reserves of natural gas discovered in the Eastern Mediterranean, igniting a scramble for control and influence. This is a story of shifting alliances, power plays, and a palpable sense of dread. It's a story that demands attention, for the consequences of inaction could be catastrophic. Turkey, under President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, has adopted an increasingly assertive foreign policy. It seeks to reassert itself as a major regional power, a modern-day Ottoman Empire projecting its influence across the Middle East, North Africa, and the Eastern Mediterranean. This ambition puts it on a collision course with Israel. The Turkish military, one of the largest in NATO, has undergone a period of modernization and expansion. Turkey's drone program in particular has garnered significant attention. Its Bayraktar TB2 drones, battle-tested in Syria, Libya, and Nagorno-Karabakh, have proven to be highly effective. These drones, coupled with Turkey's growing naval capabilities, pose a significant threat to Israeli interests in the region. Turkey's military deployments tell their own story. Its navy has stepped up patrols in the eastern Mediterranean, challenging Israeli claims to offshore gas fields. Turkish warships have shadowed Israeli exploration vessels, leading to several tense encounters. Moreover, Turkey has established a military presence in Libya, a move that has further rattled nerves in Jerusalem. Turkey's message is clear. It is willing to use hard power to secure its interests and challenge the status quo in the region. Israel, facing this growing Turkish assertiveness, has responded with a mixture of military preparedness and diplomatic maneuvering. It sees Turkey's actions as a direct threat to its national security and its economic interests. The discovery of vast gas reserves in its exclusive economic zone has made the stakes even higher. Israel has long been a regional military powerhouse, boasting one of the most technologically advanced armed forces in the world. In response to the Turkish threat, Israel has stepped up its military exercises, simulating scenarios involving naval confrontations and missile attacks. It has also bolstered its missile defense systems, including the Iron Dome, designed to intercept short-range rockets, and the David's Sling, aimed at countering medium-range missiles. The Israeli Air Force, considered one of the most capable in the world, remains a key deterrent. Israel has invested heavily in its air power, acquiring advanced fighter jets like the F-35, capable of stealth operations. These jets, combined with Israel's sophisticated intelligence-gathering capabilities, give it a significant edge in any potential conflict. Israel is not looking for a fight, but it is making it clear that it will not hesitate to defend its interests, even if it means going to war. Adding another layer of complexity to this volatile mix is the role of Greece. A traditional rival of Turkey, Greece has found itself drawn closer to Israel in recent years, united by shared concerns over Turkey's assertive posture. This burgeoning alliance has further exacerbated tensions in the region. Greece and Turkey have a long and bitter history marked by territorial disputes, military clashes, and deep-seated mistrust. The two countries have come close to war on several occasions, most notably in 1996, over a group of uninhabited islets in the Aegean Sea. The discovery of natural gas reserves in the eastern Mediterranean has reignited these tensions, with both countries claiming overlapping exclusive economic zones. Greece has responded to the Turkish challenge by strengthening its military, particularly its navy, and by deepening its strategic partnership with Israel. The two countries have conducted joint military exercises, and there are reports of intelligence sharing and even discussions of joint military operations. Furthermore, Greece has become a vocal supporter of the Kurds, a stateless ethnic group that has long faced persecution in Turkey. Greece views the Kurds as a bulwark against Turkish expansionism, and has provided them with political and logistical support. This support has further inflamed relations between Athens and Ankara. Section 5. America's Balancing Act, Navigating a Minefield. The United States, caught in the middle of this escalating conflict, faces a delicate balancing act. Turkey, despite its recent drift away from the West, remains a NATO ally, and the United States relies on Turkish bases for strategic operations in the Middle East. Israel, on the other hand, is America's closest ally in the region, a recipient of billions of dollars in annual military aid. The Biden administration has urged both sides to exercise restraint and to resolve their differences through dialogue. However, these calls have fallen on deaf ears. The United States has also imposed sanctions on Turkey over its purchase of a Russian missile defense system, a move that has further strained relations between Washington and Ankara. The United States finds itself in an unenviable position, trying to maintain its strategic interests in a region on the brink of war. Its ability to play a mediating role is limited by the deep mistrust between the parties involved and by the perception that its influence in the region is waning. Section 6. The Kurdish plea, caught in the crossfire. Caught in the crosshairs of this geopolitical chess match are the Kurds, a stateless people numbering over 30 million, with significant populations in Turkey, Syria, Iraq, and Iran. The Kurds have long sought an independent state of their own, a goal that has been met with fierce resistance from the governments of these countries. The Kurds have found themselves both courted and abandoned by regional and international powers, often used as pawns in their larger geopolitical games. During the Syrian civil war, Kurdish forces allied with the U.S. to fight against ISIS, proving to be a formidable fighting force. However, when Turkey launched an offensive against Kurdish-held territories in northern Syria in 2019, the U.S. withdrew its support, leaving the Kurds vulnerable to Turkish military might. The Kurds, facing an existential threat from Turkey, have appealed to the international community for protection. They argue that they are a vital ally in the fight against terrorism and that their human rights are being violated by Turkish forces. However, their pleas have largely been ignored, as international actors remain reluctant to intervene in what is seen as an intractable conflict. Section 7. Echoes of History, the Deepening Divide. The current tensions between Turkey and Israel are the culmination of a long and complex history. Once close allies, their relationship has deteriorated over the past 2 decades. The rise of Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his AKP party in Turkey is a key factor. Erdogan's authoritarian rule and Islamist-oriented foreign policy have put him at odds with Israel. The 2010 Gaza flotilla raid marked a turning point, leading to a downgrading of diplomatic ties. The discovery of natural gas reserves in the eastern Mediterranean has further exacerbated tensions. Turkey has challenged Israeli and Cypriot claims to offshore gas fields, raising the specter of military confrontation. The Palestinian issue remains a major point of contention. Turkey criticizes Israel's policies towards the Palestinians, accusing it of human rights abuses. Israel views Turkey's support for Hamas as proof of its hostile intentions. Section 8. The Specter of Religious Conflict. The geopolitical standoff risks taking on a religious dimension. Turkey and Israel's tensions often tap into deeper religious sensitivities. Erdogan uses religious rhetoric to mobilize his base. He positions Turkey as a leader of the Muslim world. This resonates with many who view Israel as hostile. Israel sees a rise in religious nationalism. Palestinians fear Israel's goal is religious domination. A religious war could have devastating consequences. It would be far more difficult to contain and resolve. It could lead to widespread violence and instability. Section 9. A tinderbox. Awaiting a spark, the stakes of war. The escalating tensions between Turkey and Israel, fueled by regional ambitions, historical grievances, and ideological clashes, have created a tinderbox in the eastern Mediterranean. The stakes of a direct military confrontation between these two regional powers are incredibly high. A war between Turkey and Israel would be a catastrophe for all involved. It would result in a massive loss of life, cripple economies, and destabilize the entire region. The conflict would likely draw in other regional actors, potentially sparking a wider conflagration. The energy security of Europe would be jeopardized, as Turkey controls vital shipping lanes in the eastern Mediterranean. The flow of natural gas from the region, seen as a key alternative to Russian gas, could be disrupted. sending shockwaves through global energy markets. Moreover, a war would deal a devastating blow to the already fragile peace process between Israel and the Palestinians. It would further radicalize populations on both sides, making a negotiated solution even more elusive. The international community must act urgently to defuse this ticking time bomb. Diplomacy, however difficult, remains the only viable path to avert a disastrous war. The U.S., as the world's sole superpower and a key ally to both Turkey and Israel, bears a special responsibility to mediate this conflict and to bring the parties back from the brink.